Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight.
Hello there, welcome along to another Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight. And Andrew and myself, we look forward to these interviews and chatting about sort of various bits and pieces with guests. I'm very excited about this one because the lady we have on today, well, we've worked with each other for many, many years. Our paths have crossed and we've done lots of projects together. A lady that always smiles, is always positive, never seen her in a bad mood, lose her temper or shout at anybody. Her name, full name, is Lawan D.Chumsai Na Ayudhya, but she's best known to everybody as Lina. Nice to have you
hello,
here.
Hello,
I have
Andy.
been looking forward to it.
Hello.
Unless you've met Andrew and all that. So how are you?
I'm doing well, very
Looking
well.
good.
Thank you.
Busy.
Very.
Congratulations on a very nice concert yesterday.
Oh,
Jason Mraz,
yes,
full
yes.
house.
Mm-hmm.
So that my wife said it was. I didn't go, as the viewers know. Mm-hmm. All right, then let's go right into it. Well, at the very beginning, now you were born in Thailand.
Yes.
Mum and dad, nationality.
My father is American.
Yeah.
My mother is French, and they met and got married in Germany. And then after they got married, he was stationed. He worked for the Foreign Service in America, and his first posting was Thailand.
All right.
So the year they were married, they moved to Thailand, and then we were all, well, two of my sisters. I was born here. Another one of my sisters was born here, but my eldest sister was born in Nice.
In Nice,
France, because my mother was her first child and she wanted to be near her mother, so she flew to Nice to have the baby.
Right. So what languages did you speak when you were growing up? I mean,
well, when I was very young, well, I was born in Thailand, but at the age of 9 months, I was just still a little baby. We moved back to the U.S.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
okay.
So I basically grew up from the age of 9 months to 7 years old in the U.S. So I spoke English and French without realizing that I spoke French. It was funny
and
because
when she puts her French on, she sounds like a French person. No, when I speak French, hello, bonjour.
You spoke French at
home? Yes. So one day
and your
I
father
came.
spoke French as well?
Yes,
or is that
my
a
father
secret communication between mother and daughter?
No. But my father spoke in English, but he also spoke French fluently. Okay. But when I would go to school, I would speak in English. And one day I came home with some friends, and I spoke to my mother in French. And my friend looked at me and says, "What do you do?" I didn't realize that I was doing a transition, that it was two different languages.
What are you thinking now? Because you speak fluent Thai, I would say, compared with most people, fluent French and almost fluent English. And English, it's American, but English, right?
Yes.
So what do you think it?
There you go.
You have to get it in.
Get that one in. No. So what's your, what do you think in?
English.
Isn't it?
Because
I
I
said
did
to
my
my son
studies
one
in
day, he
English.
doesn't know. It's bits and pieces.
I did my studies at RIS International School in English.
Yeah.
So I think in English.
RIS?
Yes. Rumrdy International.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I'm beginning to remember some of this stuff now. So when did you start your speaking Thai? Did that come, well 7 years old, being thrown into Thailand.
Yes.
Big thing, right?
Yes,
For a
it
kid-
was.
For a kid, actually, they just adapt.
Yes.
They don't think about any issues. They just go, and they start learning.
So
You
within a
start
few
learning.
months you were speaking Thai?
Well, I wouldn't say a few months maybe, but yes, when you're thrown into it, kids are very resilient.
Yes.
And so I picked it up within a year.
Yeah, okay. Well, sadly your father is not with us anymore. And
Yes, he passed away almost 20 years ago.
yeah, wow, I can remember it as if it was yesterday. Dear. All right, so let's bring in your mum here, because your mum is sort of, well, you wouldn't be here without her. And she's, how old is she?
This year she's 95.
95.
And she's doing very well.
And her occupation is...
Well, right now.
Well, what was it back then?
Yes, she was a ballet teacher. When she met my father, she was actually premiering a ballet in Munich. Ballet by Jean Cocteau. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He was a very famous French playwright, author, artist at large, basically. And he created a ballet called The Lady and the Unicorn. And my mother was dancing the part of the lady, and my father saw her dancing, and they met afterwards through friends of friends, and that's how they met. So she was a professional ballerina.
Okay. Wow. So she came to Bangkok.
So when my father was stationed here, she thought, well, that's the end of my career. I'm going to be a housewife. But her mother knew better and packed some ballet things in the suitcase anyway.
All right.
How long was she a professional ballerina?
Well, she started, her first ballet lesson was at 11, and when she
Quite
was
old for ballet, isn't it?
Yes, it is. She, her father met a friend whose wife was a ballet teacher and said, "Oh, I'll take my daughter to ballet," and she really loved it. It was her passion. So her first contract with a professional ballet company was Les Ballets de Monte Carlo.
See the French, I love that accent.
And she had her father sign the contract because she was too young.
Right, okay.
So she was
As
about
guardian,
17, maybe, 16 or 17.
All right.
So she was signed on to the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. And that's when she started her career. When she met my father, she was a soloist already, so she had an agent.
Right, okay.
So later on then, here in Thailand,
yes, in Thailand. So she came to Thailand and as a housewife. Then at that time, ballet was relatively unknown in Thailand. Well, I'm sure it was known, but there were no major schools or anything like that. But there was, rumor went around that, oh, wow, there's a French ballerina in town. And there was one ballet teacher at that time that we knew of. Well, I wasn't born yet, so I don't know, but that was known. She was an Iranian woman. And when she found this out, she contacted my mother and said, "Look, I haven't been on a holiday in how many years? I want to go home to Iran for a couple of months. Can you take over my lessons?" And so my mother said, "Sure, why not? I don't have anything else to do." And my mother had teacher certification anyway, because when you're with a ballet company, they make sure you take many different courses and have many different documents. So she knew how to teach, no problem. And so she took over the lessons for about 3 months, and then the Iranian woman said, "I'm not coming back, I'm staying." So my mother found herself with all these students. So she said, "Okay, well, I quite enjoy this."
Opportunity, isn't it?
Yes, I like this. I'm back in my element. So then she started giving lessons at the Alliance Française, and later she opened a studio at home.
Okay, and then got popular, obviously.
Yes,
had
and she was very fortunate to have given a performance once where she was dancing, and it was at AUA, I think. And in the audience happened to be the headmistress of the Royal School, ChitChat School, who was in the audience and saw this, and thought to herself, it would be really nice if the princesses, the Thai princesses at that time, the daughters of the late King Bhumibol, had a Western art form. If they learned a West, because they were very well versed in the Thai art forms, and asked Her Majesty permission to introduce ballet to the princesses. And that's how she started. She started teaching. The 3 princesses would come to our house to take ballet lessons. I wasn't born yet.
Goodness.
This is what my
And
mother
how long
tells
did
me.
this go on for at the palace?
Well, this went on for a while until Their Majesties at that time had a state visit to the U.S. And when they left Thailand, they preferred that their children not leave the palace for security reasons. So my mother was asked then to go and teach in the palace at the Royal School, ChitChat Palace. So ballet then became part of the school's curriculum. And my mother went in to teach there.
See what her mum's been responsible for.
I mean, when
She
you
was
think
very
about it,
fortunate. She's
Things
very
did
honored.
seem to fall into
Yes.
into place at the right time, right? So
Yes.
I'm not taking anything away from you, Mum.
Yeah,
she had
yes.
to come up with the goods.
Yes.
But the timing was...
Yeah, it was very, yes.
But was ballet also a way, not just for the guys of the royal family, but other people, was basically to we train about posture, how to control your posture, that kind of thing, rather than going to the etiquette schools sort of thing?
Yes. Well,
How
ballet
to carry
is,
yourself,
yes,
etc.
yes. It's a very
Elegant.
elegant.
The word.
Yes.
If you saw my mother, you'd know that I'm nothing like her. I'm very much like my father, big. And
I never
very-
met your dad, no.
but my mother is very
petite,
elegant
isn't
and
she?
petite,
Yeah.
and ballet is really the perfect form of exercise in that everything that you do on your right side, you also do on your left side. So your body is very balanced, and you exercise every part of your
So
body.
it's a bit like yoga. In the sense,
Yes,
it's
everything that you
muscle
do on the
control
left,
and,
you do on your right. For example, if when you play badminton or maybe tennis, you'll have one arm which is much more developed than the other. But in ballet, no, you have to try, the symmetry is very important.
And now look, your mum is how old?
95, yes, and she's still...
I met her a couple
Still
of years...
fit,
Yes,
supple.
yes,
My
yes.
Is there anything she does with the ballet side now?
Well, right now, not very much. She goes, she has some students, some of her older students who come on a Saturday afternoon or on a Thursday morning, and they repeat the exercises that they were taught.
Yeah.
And my mother goes down and sits and has a look and tells them a little bit, like your feet or this or that, but she doesn't actually do the exercise.
No, but it's still keeping her thinking about ballet. Because I've met her mum quite a few times, and she's always comes over as, I think you've got her personality in a way, because she's very polite, she's very unassuming, I suppose, in a sense, but knows what she wants to do.
Yes.
And I imagine if you went wrong...
Yes, she had a very famous stick. When she taught, she had a stick. All her students will know this about this stick.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But now she still meets a lot of her students.
Male and female, yeah?
Well, mostly female.
Yeah,
but she started USIS, the United States Information Service, sent her to Khon Kaen to go and start teaching at the University of Khon Kaen. She was only there for a week, but to develop their students who continued with ballet and became very good ballet dancers. And they were mostly male.
I can imagine Thais, though, actually, male or female, make good ballet dancers, because Thais' posture is very good compared with... Well, I'm not going to get into trouble here, but they always have their backs, you know, when you see them sitting, they always sit with their back straight.
But my mother always said that Thai classical dance is the basics. It's very much like ballet. It's open. The knees are open. Everything is done open. Okay, for example, she would say, if you're going to be a serious ballet dancer, you can't ride horses, because with horses, you control them with your knees, and it goes inward. And that's opposite from ballet.
Plie.
Yes, plie. It has to be open. Your hips have to be open. So Thai classical dance is like that also. So
yes, it is. I never thought about that.
Goes
never
hand
thought
in
about
hand.
that. All right. Well, then we wish your mum all the best.
Thank you.
Just quickly, I always do this. He gets upset with me.
No,
he says,
please.
Time. Is it popular in Thailand?
Yes, it
Even
has
now,
gained a lot of popularity.
Because you don't see any,
the Nutcracker's been here. The Nutcracker's Swan Lake, and that.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit more. Yeah, I've been here 30 years. So I've seen a little bit more recently than before. Yeah. Or maybe I'm just looking more. But it's got more and more popular in Thailand.
Yes,
and
definitely.
More ballet schools.
Definitely, yes.
I think that's
from the original.
From the original one.
You know, owe a lot to your mum. Owe a lot to your mum.
And a lot of her students became teachers.
So that's the
and
way
just to confirm, it's not an effeminate dance thing. It's mixed. It's not sort of like a gay thing. Or,
no.
It's just a big mix. Yeah?
A male ballet dancer, yes, you have to be very strong. You have to lift the girls.
And on one foot or one toe, you know what I mean? They have to be very strong. Yeah, you see the guys, they're muscly guys. They may be
I don't mean that. I'm talking about is it attracted to, let's say, more gay or effeminate, or is it seen as that, or is it actually a mix? Yeah.
It's a mix.
That might
it's
be
a mix.
Controversial question.
There were many male dancers that my mother knew who had quite a few girlfriends in the same called the ballet.
Yeah, I was just trying to basically.
It's like any type of male dancer, to be honest. You always think maybe they are slightly on the feminine side, but a lot of them are not. Some are. Yeah, whatever.
I think in every career now.
Yes. Yeah.
Up to there.
Move on. So, well, that was all. I mean, it was fascinating. We could do a whole program just on your mum, I think.
Yes.
But, all right, so what was it like when you were sort of 15, 16? Different from being 15 or 16 now? Because things have changed. I mean, in the media.
Yes.
So what was it like being in Thailand back then? What did you do socially, for instance?
Well, when I was growing up, my father was ill. When we moved here, we moved back to the U.S. and we moved back to Thailand, mostly in part because my father had to take his retirement on disability. He came down with MS, multiple sclerosis. And that is a nerve disease where you lose some of the functions in your body. And he had a very severe case. So he started to have difficulty walking and seeing. At the end, he was bedridden and blind.
So I remember you going to the hospital more daily.
Yes. And one of the things that we had to do, our duty was to read him the newspaper every day, because he was mentally, he was still there. When people would phone us, he would answer the phone. Who would you, I'd like to speak to your daughter, who's calling, who are you, what do your parents do, you know, that kind of thing. But we would read him the newspaper. And I think it helped me a lot in my work as a DJ, as a presenter. I used to read the news on Channel 9. I don't know if you remember the English language news.
I do. Well, now I do. I forgot about it.
And I think that training from a very young age, being 10 years old.
Maybe planted a seed?
Yes, could be.
Because that goes into my next question really well, because you are known to be a radio personality, presenter, and behind the scenes as well. When did you first think, that's what I want to do? And how?
Well, when I was young, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Like most.
Yes, I went to school. I went to high school. Then, you know, my father being ill, and I not wanting to go overseas, I thought, you know, I'll go to a university here. I took the entrance examination for ABAC, and I started. Oh, you went to ABAC? Yes, I went to ABAC. And while I was at ABAC, my sister, my eldest sister, Sumali, said, oh, there's a group of friends, and they want to start the first English language radio station. I won't say the first in Thailand, because there was English radio previously called, I think it was called HSA Radio, because my father used to listen to it. And that's Jim Davidson, John Dean, Elizabeth Barnabas, all of them, they did it. And then some law came into effect, and it was no longer allowed to have English language. This is back when there were a lot of coups and things like that. So there was no English language radio, and it was brought back. And they wanted people who could speak both languages, Thai and English. That was the criteria. So a group of you got together and said, my sister, no, not a group, a group of people led by the owners of Mahachak. You remember Mahachak? They are the distributors of JBL speakers and all of that. He said, let's start a radio station. I have all this equipment. Why not do it? But we need people who can speak both English and Thai to be the presenters. So they went straight to my sister, and she grabbed me and my other sister and Martina and all that. And then we started, then we started this radio station, The Quiet Storm. On which frequency? 107.
We've had Paul Jackson on here. He was our first guest ever.
Okay.
So we've done the 107 thing, but you were there with him. He came later.
Yes, he came later.
Jeff Thompson and that was a station where you would record and send the tapes by messenger to MCOT. And they would then play it because you weren't allowed to do live radio.
It wasn't allowed to be live.
And then 95.5 came later with live radio, and so that was okay. So that was your first radio job.
Yes.
All right, and then you did that for a while. For
I
a
did
long
that,
time.
Yes, yes.
I can't remember what happened after 107. You joined Media. You didn't ever work for Media Plus, or you and I.
I worked on 107, The Quiet Storm, for almost 8 years. And then I worked for the people who took over 107. Her name, her company name was Studio 107, but it had nothing to do with FM. It was just called Studio 107. Her name was Jantra Chayanam Pidang.
Yes.
And she had a couple of hours. So I would go do a couple of hours. In the morning, another person had Dr. Penguin. You remember Dr. Penguin in the morning? Then there was me, and then another company. I think it was Grammy, had the afternoons. So it was a segmented program. So I did 2 hours here and there.
I want to do a special show with all the old DJs on. Even get a link with Jim Davidson, who's now 102, living in Australia.
Not the comedian, no.
What?
Not the comedian.
No. But he's a very funny guy and a very professional.
Very.
But imagine getting them all. And trying to control them all. Because most of them are, there's a few that have left us. Okay, we're going to take a short break because I think now we need to know how you've sort of progressed all that and got into where you are today. So we're going to be back with Lena on Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight in just a moment.
Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight.
And welcome back to Bangkok Chit Chat Spotlight with Lena. And we left you with you were working for 107 for a couple of hours. What was the show?
Yes. Just I can't remember the name of the show. Maybe it was Bright and Beautiful or something. It was just a couple of hours every day.
Phew, bright and beautiful.
No. And then actually I stopped for a while to give birth.
I forgot about all that business.
Yes, I had a son, and I thought, okay, so I stopped for a while. Yes,
yeah.
And then later on, when things settled down, I was asked to join another radio station that was under new management. It was going to be called Smooth. I think it was 105.
Smooth 105.
Smooth 105. You were there.
I was
Ricky Vaughn was there.
I was on 95.5 because we had a sort of CHR and you were easy So that's where you start at what position?
Just the DJ.
Oh, just the DJ. And Ricky Vaughn was the program
director. Well, he managed it, the online side, and I think you managed the marketing side of things. Yes.
So go on. And
then little by little, things progressed, and I became.
And you're learning all the time.
Yes, learning.
Right?
Yes, that's a great thing with radio. Radio is really fun. It's a fun occupation, but it's a lot of work.
People don't realize that, do they?
No, they don't realize that every time you turn on the radio, there's something coming out of the radio. There's never a day off. You can't say, well, Saturday and Sunday, there's no radio because it's closed.
No, we're just going to have dead air
24
for the next 6
hours,
hours.
24 hours, 7 days a week, something's always going on. So it's a lot of work, a lot of content is put into it.
Content's king.
But you enjoyed being a DJ,
but I enjoyed it
and
very
you miss
much.
It. Well, that's,
of
you
course
miss it
I
now
miss
because
it
you're not
now.
on. Well, we all do.
It was primarily music. Yeah?
Yes.
All music.
Did you read the news or something?
Yes, that was separate. That was at that time. There was no cable TV or CNN, non-existent. So what foreigners would do is they would watch Thai news, but they would turn off the sound on their TVs and turn on the radio to 107.
I remember
and
that.
8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night with the national news, you would have the English translation.
That's right.
And that's what I did. That's what I read.
And I actually did that. I mean, how we were starved for internet. I mean, I ended up reading the news for the PRD, which is the other frequency.
Yes.
But so.
So we read the soundtrack to TV. Then, so I was just the DJ. Then after a while, I progressed to becoming what is known as the music director. Once in programming.
For 105?
For 105, yes, for 105, for Smooth 105. At that time, RCS was introduced.
RCS is a, what's it, for
computerized programming.
Yeah,
yes.
music. And we're the first to do it. Now, I imagine people are doing it now. Well,
yes, mostly.
Can't live without it, basically. In the old days, we just pick off records at the back of the studio. Or we were told which ones to pick off at the back of the studio. Right. That's how we started programming in the early days.
But you designed your own show, what music in it?
Oh, no.
Not anymore.
Marketing. Well, not even back then. When I was marketing, I brought in, we must play this type of music to get this type of audience for marketing reasons.
And these particular songs.
And these, well, yeah, absolutely. Top 40 for our case. In Lena's case on 105, more evergreens, easy listening. And Ricky had a very good ear for that. And you were playing his choices.
You were told what music to put on when and what to say.
Yes.
What
In the past, it was, you would have a selection of, when I started, it was vinyl. But then it progressed to CDs. And now it's all on hard disk. Now you don't touch a CD. But what you were given is that you were given on vinyl, you said you can play anything off this record, these tracks. So there'll be a sticker on the things that you can play track 1, 5, 7, 9, your choice. But you only
And if someone had initialed it, you come in and you go to it and someone's issued
for today
5,
I've played
means
it.
you can't play it.
You can't. You've just been played.
Just been played.
Yes.
Because some songs you saw you heard more than was not on the same show, but from different DJs.
Well, top 40,
Well,
but no,
it's basically what you call rotations. The hot songs are on a heavier rotation than maybe the older songs.
But believe you me, as soon as we got the DJs not picking the music, the better it was. Because you get someone wanting to play All Along the Watchtower, another one wanting to play ABBA, another, and what are you going to sell? Who's going to buy? Because you go, who's your audience? They like ABBA, he likes All Along the Watchtower. So you're splitting your audience up. You need everybody to either love ABBA all along the Watchtower.
I thought when you were selecting the songs and things, it's all to do with promotion of that particular song, and the artist or whoever was promoting that artist was saying, "Oh, can you play this so many times, and we'll pay you this," or
payola,
or whatever.
Well, we're not allowed to do that.
It's called payola.
Yes,
so,
basically we're not allowed to do that. I think that the important breakthrough in Thai radio was in the past. It was like that. You'd have one DJ come on, and I like rock, so I'm going to play rock. The next person likes easy listening. The next person likes. You have to have a uniform sound. You have to have a format.
People tuned into your frequency and
they
knew
know
what they were going to hear.
I like rock, I'm going to listen to this station. I like easy listening music, I'm going to stay with this station. I like top 40, I'm going to stay with this station. And
marketing and sales, you would go, this product is good for this type of music, and because these sort of people like this sort of music.
But did you have to pay to play a song? I know you have to have a license, yeah?
Copyright.
You have to pay, copyright. But you have to, or did somebody, like an artist, turn around and say, well, I want people to hear my song more often?
We didn't play really bright.
I think that happens.
In the old days, we didn't pay any copyrights. It was non-existent. But now we do. Now there are companies that oversee royalties for the separate artists who are signed to labels.
Yeah, but I think what Andrew's sort of talking about is plugging. You get from the labels. Ricky Vaughan was a plugger. You'd go to Radio 1 and you'd have a meeting and say, this song, this is really good. And you'd take the guy out to dinner, buy him a car after a year or whatever. You wanted him on your side so that you could he would play. But they didn't necessarily say yes. If it was rubbish, they weren't going to let their station down. Like BBC Radio 1 was
a commercial deal between the station and the
deal,
artists.
no contract, no nothing. No.
What we do now is the way that we run our radio station is we do a lot of research. We have weekly online research. Every week we research our music, especially the music that we play on heavy rotation. So we can track the lifespan of a song when we're starting it out. When we're starting it out, it's somewhat of a risk. You take a risk on when you play a brand new song.
Oh, major risk. You're going by
you're a record label. You come to me. And you can see the difference between the different record labels, the ones that are really good and on the ball. They will come to me and they know what stations I have, and they will say, we think that this song is going to be the one from this artist at the moment.
It wasn't always like
because we're going to put a marketing campaign behind it. We're going to do this and this and this. So what they're doing is they're basically telling us, you should take your risk on this track because it's going to be followed up on. We have a listen to it amongst ourselves, the music director, the program director, and myself. Three of us will sit every week and choose the new songs we're going to introduce into our playlist.
See, back in the old days, you'd get someone represented from the labels, and they'd give you this track that was nowhere near anything you were going to play, and they couldn't understand why you didn't want to play it. Oh, please play it. You know, do us a favour, and you know, we're giving it to you. It's just like
that's basically you're looking for you're selecting the correct content to suit the target market of your station.
Of our station, and so we have a panel of our listeners who join what we call the music club and who come in and rate the songs. Do you like this song? Do you love it? Are you sick of it? Or do you hate it? Or have you never heard it before?
Okay.
So we track the song, and the songs that we have taken a risk with, we'll play it without researching it for maybe 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. 5
times an hour.
No. And then we research it and see if they like it or not. And if they like it, it continues on to a higher rotation. And then the topmost songs are in a very high rotation. You'd hear it every 4 hours.
Yeah, I get it.
But that is you basically selecting the content. That's not you getting paid for
no,
no, forget all this getting paid to play music.
Nobody
can understand how they because you know, you look at the radio stations, etc. Just now, you wonder how are they making money? Yeah.
Well, for the sponsors.
Yeah, we got sponsors, but there is a question because we discussed this off camera before. You know, people have this idea that radio is not popular anymore, and why would somebody want to advertise in that? And maybe you can explain again why that's wrong.
Well, we have our ratings. We have our Nielsen ratings. The thing is, radio is going to be a medium that's always with people because of many reasons. Number one, it's a free medium. You go into your car, you go online, but it's free.
Yeah, it's not costing you Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi. It's a medium that is what you can do other things while you're listening. You can drive your car, you can cook at home, you can work on your computer. Some people study we have a lot of university students who put the radio on in the background. They say it makes them focus
Yeah,
even more on
yeah.
what they're reading. It's a medium where you can do other things while you're listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a medium that's very personal. You have your radio in your bedroom with you.
Yes.
You have it in your car with you. You can take it with you. Yes, you can take your radio with you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people make a connection with the DJ so much easier than they do with...
Well, I think the connection with the DJ is more important than having it with you, because
Yeah.
to be honest, you can have your phone with you that can play music, and you have the Bluetooth,
Yes,
and you have
yes.
your speakers,
Yes.
or your whole house. But it's the DJ thing.
It becomes
And-
personal.
And it's also maybe a community thing. It's things that are happening in Bangkok. So they're listening to, you know, the people who are listening feel comfortable with the DJ, and they will want to listen to that DJ. Music, I think, personally, is secondary. It has to be good, of course it does, but it's secondary because you can get music from anywhere.
Yes.
these
It's also
days,
up
although
to
you
date.
have to
It's
choose.
bang
it.
up
Yes.
to date,
Yes.
that person.
Yeah.
And what
Yes.
about the difference between the English and Thai radio? Now, when I first came, there was lots of English stations. Yeah. Well, not lots. There was
Well, there
basically
was
3 or
quite a
4,
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's none.
Well,
What's the dynamic behind that?
the thing is, when to
No
get
one
it,
cares about
Nobody
music,
cares
yeah,
about
no.
us. As they
no.
shouldn't.
No,
This is
licenses are
Thailand,
too
yeah, but,
expensive.
licenses don't come cheap. The license. So once you get a license for a commercial radio station, it's not cheap. You have to make. It's a business. You have to make money, and a lot of the advertisers feel that English is a niche market. I prefer to go mass. Also, for me, what that does is also makes all the radio stations sound somewhat similar.
Because they're all
Because
trying.
everybody's
the
going
number,
for the
yeah.
mass.
But you've, but okay. Well, actually, we've jumped ahead on so many questions here. So hang on. So let's go back. You were 105 DJ,
Yes.
and then you're learning all this. So the next move was you became
Music director.
of 105.
Of 105.
But at the same time, when did Virgin come in? To
When
the
I
picture?
was the music director of 105,
Yeah.
the company that we worked for, which was U&I Corporation, I think at that time,
yeah,
right?
Which had 95.5,
105,
105.
88.
Did they have 88 as well?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
it did, didn't
Did
it?
have
Smart
88.
They
Radio
also
or
started
whatever.
the first, didn't they start the first, no, it was UBC, sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Give him another tablet. Okay, right.
U&I
Your
Corporation.
cable, there's a story for another day. Anyway,
But
so,
U&I
yeah.
Corporation was
Yeah.
always under Channel 3.
But you had 3
BBC.
channels,
Yes,
3 radio stations.
3 radio
and
stations.
2 of them all Falang DJs. Because
Yes,
88 was Thai.
yes.
So weren't you then sort of looking after them as well?
No, I was only the music director.
Oh, wonderful.
Ricky was the program director. And Ricky was kind of looking after
Yeah.
everything. And then Virgin Radio came in as a partner with
Yes,
with
that's
BEC-Tero and brought in the Virgin brand.
Yeah, because
So-
you were my boss then at that time, because I was on air.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So it became Virgin Smooth.
But I have to say, she was really good. Because, no, I'm not. Cause I don't have to creep for a job anymore. I'm
You
not
had a lot of patience.
I'm not. Oh, that's the point. Because there was a lot of foreign DJs, and some of them were a little bit young, not so. Yeah. So she used to be. I can't come in today. Don't feel very well. Poor old Lena would have either have to go on and do a double shift, or find somebody, or say, oh well, we won't do a DJ on that. But I remember all this stuff, and I thought you handled it very, very well, which goes into, I think, how well you've done since. Because, you know, for Virgin, you were because you were Thai and English, and you could speak Thai. Most of us couldn't even speak a word of Thai, so we couldn't communicate that well. And you were that sort of middle piece, which came with its own pressure, I know,
Yes.
because
Well, I
we'd
think-
ask the things, and then, you know, well, that's never going to fly in Thailand, and etc. So.
Well, I was very fortunate when Virgin came in because they had real world-class experts on radio come in, and Jeff Holland, yes, and Ian Grace, and they really came in, and we were very wary in the beginning of how are foreigners going to come in and teach Thai people how to listen to the radio. We you know, but the way they did it is that it was very
You didn't
local.
notice,
They left everything in the hands of the locals, but they gave them the know-how and said, this is the way you should look at it. You know, before it was always, oh, if we're going to play this song by this R&B artist, it should go into another R&B song and then segue
Not two
into
females
this.
in a row.
No, no female, too much female, too much
Two
male.
black in a row, no, black, white.
And then we were taught to look at it in a different way, saying that if you stay in the same genre too much, what about people who don't like that? You know,
Exactly.
they're going to leave, they're going to go. But if you have a good mix and if you pre-promote your songs, coming up, we've got Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber.
All coming up in a moment.
Yeah, all coming up.
We'll
then
be
people
back.
will stay.
Yeah.
You know?
That's I've got a flashback. I remember watching or listening to the radio, and some people would this song would come, I wouldn't say who the person was that actually sang it. Sometimes it used to drive you mad because you go, I want to know where you got that. I'd like to.
I know.
Now it's download, but I mean, you like to buy the tape or the CD. It was really annoying. Sorry.
Yeah,
No.
No,
as
you're
a listener
very
point
right,
of view,
yes.
yeah, we're always so okay.
So there was a lot of
yeah.
things I was taught,
Yeah.
and then you adapt what you're taught to the local flavor.
And that's, as I say, is why you were so important, because you were more Thai than anybody else in that organisation. I mean, I know there were Thai staff doing paperwork and stuff, but you were the go-between.
Yes, I was.
And I feel for you. You know, I thought, I mean, in a good way.
Okay.
Oh, she's working her socks off, because it was a very difficult job. Because some Falang DJs were absolute rubbish and should never have come here in the first place. But we won't mention them.
You're
But they're not
comparing
here.
against perfection, of course. You know what I mean?
No, there's somewhere. No, I can tell you some stories of in the old days, DJs
Yes,
locking
yes,
themselves in the
yes.
studio with a bottle of vodka. We couldn't get in there and couldn't cut the signal.
That was
Okay.
that was
Break the door
Richard
down.
Jackson's
Era of-
responsibility
bless you,
at that
Richard.
time.
Yeah,
Yes, Richard did a really
so
good job there.
there's stories that anyway. All right, so it didn't work out for Virgin in the end through financial reasons, expensive
Well, yes,
licenses.
it was
mainly.
it was an amicable debranding, let's say. But you
so
know,
that's
but
when BEC came in, right?
yeah,
BEC
no, BEC-Tero's always been there. It was a
With
joint venture
with Channel 3
yes.
at those days, wasn't
and
it?
then yes, with Channel 3,
So, yeah.
BEC-Tero Radio,
Yeah.
and BEC-Tero Radio later took over most of the management. Were only licensing the Virgin brand
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, I can't remember if I introduced you as the general manager of BEC-Tero Radio. I've got it written down here. I think we've done the whole thing and nobody knows what a job is.
Nothing introduced at the beginning.
Did I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, flop sweat. All right, so now, so now you've got, as a radio company, you have 2 FM.
2 FM and 4 online.
What are the 2 FM?
Easy FM 105.5. We play Western Top 40 with Thai presenters. And we have Hits 955, which is a Thai CHR.
Thai music by Thai DJs.
And we
CHR?
do play, CHR, chart hit radio, meaning like at
do you call it
top
chart
40.
hit? Because in my day we used to call commercial hit radio.
Commercial hit
But it's
radio.
Chart hit.
Chart
at the
hit
same
radio.
time.
Well, yes,
How
top
do they
40.
manage charts now? I mean,
We have a chart.
Sorry to go off the point, but you have your own chart. Is this an
Yes.
international chart? Or
We have
how
our
do they
own
manage
chart. We have our chart based on many things, but the local chart is mostly based on our research that we do. The songs that get the most points. Research when I explain to you do you like this song? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you sick of it? All that. It is then transferred into points.
Okay.
And that way you
sounds
know
right.
which songs are going up, which songs are going down. So we know on a weekly basis where the song is. And also requests, the amount of requests we get for a song.
God, this is so interesting. We could do a whole program on
Yes,
that. I
it's-
don't-
I just got confused
music
because-
programming is very
'cause
fun.
Originally, it was on the purchase of the single
Yes.
or whatever it was.
Well, you
But
had
now-
top 20,
yes.
Billboard,
Billboard,
top 100 and
yeah.
all that.
But it may
Yeah,
also, do you get other statistics on people downloading that or
Yes, there's many charts to look
There's still
at now.
charts to
Yeah,
look
there's
at.
still charts.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Billboard's
so
still Billboard.
we look at everything, but at the end of the day, we make our decision on our Hits 955 top 20 chart and Easy FM also.
And that's
it's our chart.
It's your charts. It's not an international
Yeah.
chart.
No.
It's your chart.
Geared
Okay.
to their listeners because
Yes.
they're in Thailand.
Yes.
Don't try and be like we tried in the old days. Oh, we're in London. Let's play London music. No.
And we're very successful with our chart because we put it online. We have a Line official account with Line.
Line app.
Online.
yeah.
And basically every week we load our chart on our Easy Top 20. And we count them down, 10, 9. It's only about a minute and a half long.
Yeah. Good.
Just with them and short hooks from some of them.
Wow.
And we get 400,000 views a week.
Wow.
For
I mean,
easy.
that's good. And you also have
yeah.
online stations to
Yes.
cater for the niche.
Yes, the niche market that we
Formats.
can't afford to put on FM.
Yeah, because of licenses and
Yes,
everything on it.
so we have 4. We have Star FM, which is Thai easy listening.
Yeah.
We have Rock On Radio, which is
See, your
modern
face
rock.
always lights up when you mention rock.
Rock On. We have Rock On Radio. We have Tofu Pop. Tofu Pop, which is Korean and Japanese music. And we have Rad Radio, which is dance, remixes, and EDM.
Okay. And they're all doing well?
Yes.
And you have, how many DJs you employ? How many DJs do you employ?
Well, on our online stations, we have 2 DJs per station.
Online ones?
Yes. So they do...
Are they pre-recorded?
No.
Well,
three. Each of them has a 3-hour live and a 3-hour pre-recorded. So that's 6 hours and another 6 hours. It's 12 hours of programming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our FM stations have more. We have double headers in the morning, in the evening. So we have quite a bunch. I would say we have at least maybe 20 DJs.
Okay. So it's international music and Thai music, obviously.
Yeah, well, Star is Thai music, but there is a sprinkling of Western hits in there because Thai people really do enjoy the Western music, but the big hits.
Yes.
So even for Hits 955, we do have a sprinkling of English music. Ed Sheeran, when Shape of You was out, of course, you know, we played that.
So
on
your
hits.
demographics are pretty wide, really.
Yes.
You cover everything
We
as
cover,
you should.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There's something for everyone.
All right, we've run right out of time here now because we're going to talk about a bunch of other things, but that means that we can have you back if you're willing to come back. Say yes.
Of course, nah, you don't want me back. I talk too much.
No, you don't. It's absolutely, no, he talks too much. No, he's fine. He's great.
I always have the last questions, but he's been getting me into trouble.
No.
Well, when we do the one under the desk, I'm kicking him.
Well, it was a good chat. It was a good chit chat.
Anyway, we really enjoyed it, honestly, Lena, and very interesting. And I wish you all for the future. It's going to be a success because you're a great person. So
thank you very much.
Indeed.
Thanks. Thanks.
Love you.
And thank you very much for coming.
You're
Pleasure.
more than
Fascinating.
welcome.
All right, thank you. That was it. Wow, that was quite a long one again. Thanks to Andrew. And no, it's okay. Don't worry. It was very interesting. Yeah. So don't forget, if it's your first time, please subscribe, and don't forget to like and share as well. And we're back next week with just a normal chit chat with myself and Andrew. See you next week. Bye bye.